everyone, and welcome to our Touch Base Thursday for January, and I don't even know what the date is, 13th. I always computer, but this time I'm trying to do something different and using my my iPad. So anyway, welcome everyone to our Facebook Live for the week. I am so excited to be here live with you all, and I'm just going to give it a minute here for all of you to find me live before we go ahead and get started. And again, make sure you tell me hello if you are here with me. And let's see here if I can find my comments. I might not be able to, so I may need that other thing, Natalie, that you have. Unless she can figure it out on my iPad. I'm experimenting with my iPad to see if I can see the comments, because I haven't been able to before, and it looks like I'm still not going to be able to. So anyway, we're just going to continue going, and she's going to switch out devices here in just a couple minutes, and we'll see if the kiddo can figure it out for me, because she'll take that one away. So anyway, welcome everyone to our Facebook Live. You can just take it now. Oh, she got it. Sorry, you guys. Welcome to your entertainment for tonight. All right, so hi to, I see these comments now. So hi to Sonia and Marsha and Susie, Kay, Lori. Hi, everyone. So for Christmas, my son got me this awesome stand. I have to show you it. So it is this really cool, he's a distributor or dealer for WeatherTech, and he got me this awesome stand for me to be able to use for my pad to sit on, so that I can see when comments come in and all of that awesome stuff. And so anyway, Natalie, they're gone again. So I'm trying to use it this time and figure out how to, swipe left. I was swiping right. Anyway, so welcome everyone. So much entertainment here for you guys tonight. Okay, so I have lots of awesome and fun things to share with you, and I think you guys are going to love my 3D project that I have. But yeah, so that's what my son got me for Christmas, and so I've had an iPad for a while and never used it in this capacity. I've always used my computer, and my computer's on, I wouldn't say on the fritz, but it's kind of been giving me a little bit of grief today, so I had to improvise, and so here we are. So anyway, welcome. Just a few updates that I have for you. So my girls have transitioned to online school for a couple of weeks, starting today, so they are adjusting to being back to that. Doesn't really affect Natalie a whole lot because she's only at the school for 1 hour, so she is still working at CMU, going to school at CMU, but she has her 1 hour online. But poor Claire had her first day today of all remote learning. They're remote through the 28th of January. I had to think about that. So anyway, so that is adjustment for her again, to try to get that all figured out. But she's doing really, really good. So, I checked in on her on lunchtime, and she's like, I'm doing fine. So anyway, and now that I think the schools have things a little bit more fine-tuned, it might be a little bit easier for her as well. So anyway, but that is one of the adjustments we've had this week, and we didn't get much notice on it. Like, they were told on... we were told on a Tuesday at 5:30 that yesterday was going to be a no school day, and then today we'd start virtual learning. So none of them brought any of their stuff home with them. So luckily we were able to get into the school yesterday, because Claire left her cello there. So she was so worried about it. On days where she can practice at school, she doesn't always bring it home when she has dance and things like that. So she was really concerned about, they keep going away though, Natalie. I have to keep swiping. But anyway. Okay, you're fine. So anyway, she had to kind of adjust to all of that again, and making sure we went and got that cello for her so that she could practice for 2 weeks and have her lessons for 2 weeks. But the school was very accommodating of it. So anyway, but hi to Julie, and I see we have Tanya watching and Donna. So I'm so excited to have you guys here. So anyway, what am I going to be sharing with you tonight? I'm going to be sharing with you a celebration product that you can get for free with a $100 order, and I think you're going to love some of the projects that I've designed. The colors are gorgeous and very, very pretty. So we'll get to that in just a little bit. But first of all of you know that if you share my my video, you get into the drawing for awesome prizes and things. And So last week, if you shared, you got put in the drawing, and we have 2 winners. So the winner of the Genial Gems is Carol Koraleski. So congratulations to Carol. So Carol, those will go out in the mail to you. And then the linen thread goes to Shelby Laverack. So congratulations, Shelby. Oh, Pat, aren't you just so sweet? I don't always wear my hair down, so this is a treat for you guys. I usually have my hair up and in like a messy bun or something because it's quick and simple and easy, but I actually did my hair today, so it was different for me too. I went to work and my boss even said, "Oh, you have your hair down." So it was kind of funny that he noticed it as well. Up for grabs next week is the brushed metallic adhesive backed dots, and we have a bolt of the crinkled white ribbon. Okay, so again, you just share my video and you'll get into the drawing for that. All right, okay. So let's see here. Thank you, Pat, for sharing, and hello to Diane and welcome. So let's see here what else I've got to tell you. So some of my classes that are open right now, my gumball class, so far it's gotten, a lot of you have commented how much you love it. I've had a few of you take advantage of that class. My gumball greetings class. So just so you know, they are shaker cards. 3 of the 4 cards are shaker cards. The class includes all of the supplies for you to make them. So you'll get the domes, the frosted beads, all of the supplies cut and ready for you to make 2 of each one, so it's 8 cards. And I did a video on some of the cards that I will then show or share with you to show you how to put the cards together, because they're really not hard once you kind of know how to use the shakers and get the beads in there without making a mess. Trust me, I've been there, made a mess, figured it out the hard way. But anyway, and then I have one of my hedgehog classes is still open. Most of you know that we are a big hedgehog family. We actually had a sick hedgehog last week. Natalie's Tinkerbell was sick, but we kind of nursed her back to health and got her some different food to eat to kind of entice her to eat again, and all that good stuff. So she's doing a lot better. Although I really worry because a couple of our hedgehogs are close. So we have 5 of them. Most of you already know that too. But 2 of them are really right in the middle of their lifespan or their life cycle. So I was kind of worried when she kind of started going downhill. I'm like, oh, we've had her almost 5 years, and their life expectancy is 3 to 7. And so when we talked to the girls about that before we even got hedgehogs, so I was really a little concerned when hers went down and kind of sick and just not acting right. But it's kind of come back to life, and Claire's kind of nursed them back. She is just our awesome one when it comes to animals and taking care of them and all that good stuff. Even Natalie was like, "Claire, help me." So it was so cute to see. Hi, Susan, and welcome. And hi to Paula. Okay, so with that, I'm going to actually transition my camera down, and let's just go ahead and have some good old-fashioned stamping fun, right? So I'm going to be showcasing for you the Hello, is it called the Hello Friendly Hello bundle? I had to think about that. Now, this is a bundle that you can get for free with a $100 Stampin' Up! Order. I will tell you that anybody who puts in a minimum $30 order, you will get 3 of the projects that I'm going to be showcasing tonight. They'll already be completed projects because I like to send them completed, because in case some of you don't have the stamp set and things like that, then you'd have to come up with something different to use. But if I send them already done, I'm able to do that because we're not able to send stuff with stamped images and that. So by me making them as complete projects, I'm able to send you complete cards for you to actually start using. So anyway, with that, I'm going to transition my camera down, and you'll get a little sneak peek of what we're going to be making tonight. And I'm going to start with my 3D project because I want to make sure that I don't mess it up. And I made it like right before we went live, so it's fresh in my brain. I'm learning that by me doing those 3D projects right before live, I don't mess up as much. Okay, so one moment while I transition my camera down, I'm going to go join you on the other side of my table, and we will start with some awesome fun. All right. So you're going to see, like I said, here a little sneak peek of my, oh, one of them's torn up or not upside or the wrong way. All right, so here's your little sneak peek of some of the projects you're going to be seeing. Look at that cute little project. Isn't that adorable? Love it. Okay, and I'm going to turn around my little machine here so that I can see your guys' comments as they come in. Okay. So these are some of the projects we are going to be making tonight. What do you guys think? Aren't they fun? All right, I'm moving my little device so that I can see them all. Thank you, everyone. I know it. Aren't they pretty? Love it. Okay. So I'm going to actually start. Oh, Donna is here to calm my nerves. That is a joke I have with Donna. If you see Donna's comment where it says shared. Because sometimes my 3D projects, any of you that are new to joining me, know sometimes 3D projects and I fight a little bit and I get a little nervous with them. But I'm going to show you guys how to make this fun, adorable, I'm kind of calling it like a cracker box, but this, and I would love for you guys to comment with things that you could see yourself putting in this box. So like for me, I could see myself putting in this Tootsie Rolls, trying to think of other candies that you could put in this, but I'm going to teach you how to make this, and I made this with Designer Series paper, okay? So it's a really quick and simple little project. And now I am using a punch that is retired. Boo-hoo, I'm sorry, I know. However, it's just a 1-inch circle punch. Now, any punch that you have, you can probably work to be able to punch the little sides in, and you'll see that here in just a couple of minutes, okay? But this was so fun, and so simple and easy to make. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start with a piece of Designer Series paper. Thank you, everyone. So you're gonna start with a piece of Designer Series paper or cardstock if you would rather use cardstock, okay? Now, you need it to be 8 by 8. If you wanted to make this box a little bit smaller, you could, whoops, sorry, it's upside down. If you wanted to make this box a little bit smaller, just make your piece of designer paper smaller. If you wanted to make it larger, you could then do it as a 12 by 12 piece of paper. So the main thing is you want to just make sure that you cut your paper to whatever size and how big you want your box. So it's very customizable. Candy bar would fit in there too. You are right, Lori. Okay. Oh, Teresa, I'm on your big TV. Woohoo! I like it. Okay, the other thing you want to keep in mind before we do some scoring is you want to make sure you score in the direction in which you want your paper. Now, if I would have wanted the lines to run the long way, I would have scored this way. But I wanted my box to have the lines little short running on the opposite side. Now, because this is 8 by 8, you can score this on either side that you want. Again, it's just going to depend on where you want your score lines to be, okay? Now, here are, and I will post the measurements for this in the description of the video after I am completed for tonight. But the score lines for this, now I already have it scored, so I'm just going to tell you the score lines. You're going to score at 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and 7. So again, they're 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and 7. You're basically scoring every 1 3/4 inch, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're just going to fold in on all of those lines. So I'm folding in so that I can see them because we're going to do a little bit of punching. When you guys see how easy this is to make, you're going to go, oh my gosh, okay? So I did score this before I went live with you all just to save a little bit of time there. Simple scoring, nothing fancy, okay? And then you're going to have to find a punch or something that you want to use to be able to punch in your sides. And all you're doing is punching them in so that you can kind of squeeze it together and make it look like a little Cracker Jack box or whatever, okay? All right, so I found a retired 1-inch punch. Now you could use a square, you could use anything here that you have. It doesn't necessarily have to be a circle. The one that I received a couple years ago, so I went back into my archives to find this project, and the one that I received actually used an old Christmas ornament punch, okay? So I just kind of improvised and went and found one that I had and made it work. So that's what you can do as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to, on these where those are scored, you're going to put whatever punch you have up in there all the way and put that score line right in the middle so my score line's right in the middle. So you have kind of a half and half. And I'm just eyeballing it, okay? So can you see what I did there? It's kind of half and half. And I'm gonna do that on all of my score lines, putting the punch in all the way, eyeballing the center, and punching, okay? So we're gonna do that again on all of the score lines. And because this one is a little bit bigger here, you can see this one's close to the edge and this one is not. So what we're gonna do is we're going to pretend there's one here at the edge and just do like a half moon or do half of it, okay? So I'm just doing half of it. And And then we're going to do that on the other side. Now you can keep those little circles if you want and use them for other things as well. That's the neat thing of it, right? So you can kind of do whatever you would like to do with those little circles. So I'm going to do the same thing on this end. I'm going to go all the way in and I'm going to punch. And again, halfway, like doing the half moon so that the score line's right in the middle there. And I'm just punching. And again, because this one is a little bit bigger, I'm going to do a half circle. Again, making sure that paper is all the way in so that they kind of align. All right, so can you kind of see how my box is gonna form? So cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to, again, depending on which way you want this, I want my box to fold like this. If I wanted it to go the other way, I could have done the score lines the other way, but I want it to go together like this. And I'm going to use some tear and tape because I want this to stick really, 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 really good. So I'm just going to put some tear and tape along this edge up here. So I'm just going to put it down to here, and I'm going to rip that. And then I'm going to put a little bit on these little tabs here as well. Having nails in this case comes in handy because I can use it to kind of as a base to kind of hold that down and rip. Okay, so there's our tear and tape. I'm going to make sure that that gets really adhered down good. And then I am going to peel this off. So this is the only part where, you know, you got to kind of play with it a little bit. And I've learned that if you kind of rub your finger across it, it kind of comes up a little bit better when you're going to bring this up. So there we go. And there. Okay. And then all we're going to do is I like to just fold this half down and fold this one on because you're going to get a really good, you're able to then like really push it down. So instead of like actually bringing it up and then trying to push it down, I just folded that one over and put that one on top of it. So can you kind of see this awesome box so far? Now from here, what you're going to do is you're going to kind of just pinch the ends. So here I'm just going to pinch this in, and then I'm going to do the same thing the opposite way. I'm just going to pinch it in. And that is going to kind of create for me the little bit of the look that you need for that. So same thing here. I'm just kind of pushing the ends in and making it fold. And the same thing on this end, pushing that in, making it fold. And then all we're going to do is tie some ribbon around that. Okay, so I have incorporated and used for tonight's projects the Pool Party Sheer Ribbon that is in our annual catalog. Coordinates with this product suite, just wonderful. And now you could make a bow if you wanted on the ends. You could just make a knot. I'm just going to make a knot because it's just going to be easier. And I probably cut way too much ribbon. I'd probably leave it on the bolt if I was doing this not on a video. But because I'm on a video, I don't want to have an issue with that. You're just going to kind of hold this down and I'm going to make it a knot. Now, even if you were going to be tying this into a bow, I think I would still do the knot first, just because you're able to kind of hold your finger there, keep it kind of nice and tight, okay? And then you can keep as much ribbon on this as you want. I'm going to keep a little bit on there. And then we're going to do the other side the exact same way. So again, you can see, remember I folded those in like that. And the only thing is when you tie your knot, you want to make sure you tie it at the same, you don't want to tie it on the bottom, so that way the knots are both in the same spot. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut a piece of ribbon. I'll make it a little bit shorter this time. And I'm going to go underneath this, and we're just going to do the same thing. And I'm going to tie it around here like this. Isn't it pretty? So such a neat idea and a neat little favor for different events or things that you can make. And so simple to do. And so if you have a lot of designer series paper, like a lot of us I know get a lot of designer series paper during celebration, this is, thank you Philomena, this is a great little project. And I love that you guys were all sharing ideas of things that you can put in this. So like I said, I had Tootsie Rolls. Someone said candy bars. So keep those ideas coming because we all can learn from each other and get different ideas, right? And then what I did on my sample, so again, I just used a different piece of paper for this. Thank you, Mary. All I did is I punched out some circles. You can use your layering circles. You can use some circle punches. And then what I did is from the stamp set, so I didn't even show you guys the product that I'm using yet. I kind of got right into this 3D project. But this is the, ignore my initials on it, because I always make mine with my initials so I know it's mine on the celebration. But this is the Friendly Hello stamp set. And so I stamped the little birds, and then Natalie actually colored them for me while she was helping me get set up. Hi, Cindy. And then I'm just going to cut this out and put it onto the circles. You could also add a little tag to this if you wanted to, and it would look really cute. Now, there are no dies for this. This stamp set and coordinating designer series paper is something you can get for free with a $100 Stampin' Up! Order during Celebration. Celebration goes from, it's going on now through the end of February. So it's a great little, you know, it is a little bit more of an expensive one. You have to put in a $100 order, but you're getting a stamp set and a pack of this awesome coordinating designer series paper. So you'll be able to use the paper with the stamp set, and it's really, really pretty. So I have a lady that says, was like, okay, I'm going to put in, I usually put in two $50 orders with you to get the stuff I want for Celebration, but I'm waiting and I'm doing it all at once because I want that. And I'm like, that's fine. It works for me because this one is very, very pretty. So again, I'm just kind of fussy cutting this around, and we're going to put that on top of the box. Natalie, I couldn't convince her to fussy cut. She would only color for me. She's like, Mom, I can't cut that like you can. And I'm like, okay, I'll cut it. So, oh, Laura, you got yours coming, huh? Oh, you'll love it. It's so pretty. All right. And then all I did was adhere these two together with some seal. So I'm just going to adhere my two circles together. And then I added my little beautiful little stamped image here with some dimensionals. So we're just going to put a couple dimensionals on there. These dimensionals are sticking to the back on me. There we go. Just going to put a couple on there and put that on here. So you can see one, she colored the flowers with the pale papaya, and the other one she colored them with the fresh freesia. So, and I will be showcasing the paper for you guys here in just a bit. I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive right to the center of that, because that's where I'm going to adhere this down to my little project. So I'll show you guys the paper in a little bit. Like I said, I got really excited about this project. Hi, Carol. And Carol, I'm not sure if you had just joined, but you were actually one of the winners this week for sharing last week. So congratulations. So that is my little 3D project that I created to showcase some of this beautiful paper that you get. And it's a great way, like I said, to put little cute little candies in there. You could also use cardstock if you wanted to. The ends might need to be scored a little bit stronger because the cardstock's going to be a thicker weight, so they're not going to pinch together quite as nice as the designer series paper did. But still a great little project that you can make. Isn't that awesome? So welcome to Kay. I'm glad that you are joining in. All right, so that is my first project for tonight. I hope that you guys like that one. And again, you can kind of get creative with any punch that you have. You just want to use some kind of a punch that creates that little look for you to be able to do the little pinching on the ends here, okay? So like I said, I used a 1-inch circle punch. I know we don't have circle punches, but anything that you have will work. If you really don't have them and you have the layering circles, I know it's going to be a lot to put a circle in there and cut them, but it would work, okay? So there is things that you can do to make that work. Oh, the caddies. Debbie, you're asking about the caddy. I am hoping to get them out next week. So a little update on those. I was going to email all of you. Those of you that may have purchased my caddies, I'll bring mine in to show you. This is my little caddy. A guy I work with is printing these on his 3D printer, and he had his printer go down, and so he had to take it in and get it fixed. So it has delayed him a little bit. So we are hoping, he was like, oh my gosh, I feel horrible. I'm like, hey, it is what it is. So we are hoping to, he's printing them as fast as he can. It does take 17 hours to print one of them, but he's got 2 of them printing at once. He borrowed a printer from a buddy of his. So we are hoping to get those out next week. So I'll make sure I'll let you know, Debbie, as soon as that's ready to go. And so we appreciate your patience on that. But it happens when you're hand making something like that. And I told him it is what it is. We'll get him done, but he felt so bad. All right. So anyway, that is our first little project. Okay, so let me show you the designer series paper, because I haven't shared with you. Some of these are going to just be scraps because I've been using so much of it. I think I've gone through a couple packs of this already, because, you know, the only thing is when I get this, then I get an extra stamp set. So, but I'm like, I need the paper for doing different classes and things like that. So this is the designer series paper, and it is gorgeous. I love it. Sounds good, Debbie. Yeah, I've been meaning to email you guys. He let me know that like over the weekend, and it really put him back. But it's all good. I told him. I'm like, it's all good. It's an awesome thing. We'll get it out. Okay. So these are some of the papers that are in that awesome product with the friendly hello. And the neat thing is that it kind of coordinates. So your stamps here. It looks like, I gotta tell you, when I first got this paper, I thought that someone, actually I saw cards made with it, actually stamped this with like a black Memento ink. And then I realized it's already in there, but it coordinates with these so nice. And then the colors in this are the Fresh Freesia. Let me see here. I'll read them off to you real quick as I drop half of it on the floor. Basic Black, Fresh Freesia, Granny Apple Green, Petal Pink, Pool Party, and Shaded Spruce. Okay, so those are the colors in this. But I just love it. It is so pretty. And there you can see you got the bird that coordinates with it. And then that one that we made, these are the 2. The reason why you have 2 little pieces here is because those are the 2 pieces that I used to make my first project that I showcased. So you have the little scrap here left over. And then on the back side of this paper, we have these patterns right here. So again, very pretty. Very, very pretty paper. Okay. So love, love, love. All right. So again, like I said, I don't have full pieces to show you guys since we, created these projects. So I'm going to put these to the side so they don't get smashed. And then we're going to go into doing some of our cards. Okay. So my first card that I'm going to showcase for you, let me find them here, is which one's first on my pile? Oh, this one. So I may not spend all of the time coloring everything tonight because again, my Facebook Live goes from 7 to 8. And so I don't like to keep you guys too long. And so I'm going to kind of mainly show you the different templates and things that I did to create my projects for you. So for this one, I really wanted to focus in on the Petal Pink, and I may have grabbed the wrong markers. I may have, I have Pale Papaya. So we're going to go with it. I didn't grab Petal Pink, but it's all good. I like that saying. It's all good. It's going to work just fine. All right. So for this first card, I used my Pool Party as my card base. So the standard card base is 5.5 by 8.5. And then I have a piece of the Petal Pink. So I had the cards cut right. I just grabbed the wrong color of ink, or wrong color of blend. This is cut 5 1/4 by 4. And then I used a full mat of that designer series paper. Now this is, like I said, the same one that I used to make that little box earlier. This is cut 5 by 3 3/4. And I'm just going to adhere these 2 together. Again, if I really didn't like this card or this color, I could use the back. But I wanted my full attention on this card to be the beautiful bird. So if you like birds and flowers together, the stamp set and bundle is perfect. And then I have 2 pieces here that I kind of matted and layered together. You have and I stamped, so again, everything tonight that I'm using is from the stamp set Friendly Hello. So I stamped the bird and stuff on here and then put Hope You Have the Best Birthday. So I did stamp that in advance on a piece of the cardstock, and then I just matted that with my Petal Pink, and we're going to adhere those 2 together. And then we're going to do a little bit of coloring. So I'll show you kind of how I colored that bird to kind of make it pop. Can you see it's kind of got the two colors in there? So I will spend a little bit of time showing you how I did that. And let's see, did Natalie cut all my dimensionals apart? We're using up little ends of dimensionals because I don't like to waste. I like to have all of that stuff get used up. Okay, so I'm going to put one here on all four of the corners here. She says to me before she went upstairs, "Do you want new dimensionals?" And I went, "No, I'm using them. We're using them up. I'm not going to have all those laying around." She just laughed at me. So thank you, Beth. Those boxes were so cute to make. So if any of you joined me a little bit late, make sure you go back and watch the replay on those boxes because they were really quick to do and fun to do. So, all right, we colored the bird using the Pool Party light and dark. And so I'm going to color the whole thing with my light. And I even got brand new blends in these colors so that I could use them for, I go through some of these standing, like this is a color I use a lot. So I wanted to get some new blends so that I didn't have any issues with it. So I'm just going to color it with the light. And then I went over it with my dark and just kind of outlined where the feathers are. And it makes you look like a pro, even though like I'm not a pro at coloring. The texture and the different look to the different colors just kind of pulls that all together for you. Okay, we're gonna go with Pale Papaya, but I should be using Petal Pink, okay? But I think it'll be just fine. Oh, it looks just fine. So if you don't have Pale Papaya or Petal Pink blend and you wanna use it, you can substitute the two and you really can't tell the difference. I don't think anyway. So I'm going over all of this with the light. And then I'm going to go back in and outline it with the dark. So I'm just going to kind of go around the edges of my flower here. And then do a few of the little lines in the inside. Just kind of bring some life to this. And then I'm just going to go dark right in the center. And then the last color that I'm going to use is the Granny Apple Green. And I am going to just be using the dark on this one, I think. And I'm going to color in my leaves and the little branch here. So fun. Then to top off my card, again, I'm using the sheer Pool ribbon. I made a little bow. You can see my little bow right there. And I'm going to make a little bow using my ribbon here. I'm going to try to make a little bow using my ribbon. And just going to play with it a little bit. It's a little bit more of a slippery ribbon because of it being sheer. So it does take a little bit more of to work with it, but we'll get it here. My fat fingers needed a little bit more on the beginning and the end there. All right, and then we're just gonna kind of play with it here to get it to how you want it. And then we're gonna just pull it nice and tight. And I'm gonna adhere this bow down with some dimensionals. So this one I left a little bit bigger than that one. Or not dimensionals, glue dots. So I'm gonna bring in some glue dot here, and I'm going to adhere this down with a glue dot right up there. And then I topped it off with some pearls. I really liked the pearls paired with this. You guys are gonna see a little cheating method in how I add my pearls. I'm gonna just move them around with my fingernails. You could also use your take your pick tool. It is very pretty ribbon, I know. But yes, it does make the bird pop, Marcia, I agree. I love the blends. So I find myself using just the blends anymore for coloring because I don't know, I feel that it's just, makes the cards come to life a little bit more because you're able to do that little blending. Oh, and on my sample, I also put pearls in the middle of the flowers. So you can kind of decide if you wanted to do that or not. But yeah, so isn't that pretty? I love that one. Okay, so that is my first card to share with you. Let's see what I got next. Oh, this next one is a great use of scraps. So for instance, when I made that card, that, or the box, and I had that little piece of scrap left over, this would be a good use of some of that. So this, literally, I used 2 little 1-inch pieces of my, some of the paper. And then this die is from the Stitched So Sweetly dies. And then I stamped the Hello Friend that is on this from the stamp set. And then the little flower that is right here that I put on with some of the layering circles. So let's make this one next. So for this one, my card base is the Petal Pink, all right? And then I used Whisper White. The white, I think, the white layer in this just makes it pop. So that white layer is 5 1/4 by 4. Again, it just makes it pop since you got white in the paper, white there. And I'm a big person who likes to layer, so the more layers, the better. And then I took fresh freesia, and what I did is I just stamped some flowers on top of this using that stamp set, or the flowers. So I stamped some of these flowers using fresh freesia ink onto this fresh freesia mat. No rhyme or reason. I literally just stamped them all over it, okay? We're gonna adhere those two together. And then we're going to adhere those down to the cards. So the Whisper White, or Basic White, is 5 1/4 by 4. And then my other piece, the Fresh Freesia, is 5 by 3 3/4. And I'm just going to adhere that down to the card. And then I have 2 pieces that are 1 by 4. So 1 by 4 is a good measurement for a 12 by 12 because you can get lots of 1 by 4s out of that. And we're just going to cut a little banner into the end of both of these. So I'm just going from I went up the center, and then I'm going from side to side. Oops, I didn't cut that one all the way through. To cut a little banner in them. And I'm going to do the same thing. And I want to make sure, you want to make sure you cut the banner in the end that you want so that it's not upside down, because I'd have had my bird upside down if I didn't pay attention to that piece. This one doesn't matter as much. Thank you, Philomena. This whole class, so this is actually a class that is open right now for you to register for. So if you're like, okay, I just want the cards, I'll put the link in the description of the video at the end. This is a class that I'm offering right now that comes as a kit in the mail. The only thing is you would need the stamp set, or you could improvise with the stamp set that you already have. I'm also offering this whole class free if you put in that $100 order to get your own paper and your own stamp set. So I'll have all those details outlined in the description as well. So that way, if you didn't have this yet and you wanted it, you'd get the class for free. It's 10 cards, 5 cards, 2 of each design. So just a little FYI there as well. So then this is again one of the stitched shapes from the Stitch So Sweetly, and I just stamped the Hello Friend on that using some of my the Memento black ink, and we're going to adhere that down with some dimensionals. So I'm just going to put a couple dimensionals on here. I would probably put more than a couple, but for tonight we're just going to put a couple on there. And then this will get adhered down to my card like this. And then I used a couple of the little layering circles. So I stamped the little flower on one, and I layered it onto the pink. This is the Petal Pink, and I'm just going to adhere those two together, and then colored in that flower. So this is also going to go on with a dimensional. But such a fun, quick, simple, easy card. I mean, literally, look how simple and easy that was. And you can color this any color that you want. So on this one, I did the Fresh Freesia. And I kind of like it the purple. So I'm going to keep it that way. We're going to start with the light, and I'm going to color the whole thing light, Fresh Freesia. And then I'll come back in with my dark here in just a minute and add some dark hues to that as well. So bring in the dark. And I'm just going to kind of outline a few of these. You can't go wrong. Just kind of outline where you think it needs it. And again, adding that little bit, just that little bit, gives it such a different look. And I'm going to use my light Granny Apple Green marker. And I'm going to use the skinnier side since this is littler. We're just going to color in the little greenery on this one. And then I did put a little bow there with that ribbon. Now this ribbon is in our annual catalog, so it is a ribbon that's been out for a while, but I just loved it paired with this product suite. So I used it on all of the projects that I'm making tonight. All of my projects feature this ribbon and also some pearls. So just 2 embellishments to be able to make these cards, and then cutting the little pieces off of them. And I'll add my bow with a glue dot up here at the top of that. And then I just topped it off with some of those awesome pearls again. So we're gonna just add a pearl here. This time I'm gonna add a pearl to the center of the flower. You can see how I just slide those around wherever I want them. And there you have another cute card using, you know, the little strips of the paper. But that's really all you need on this one. Isn't that pretty? I know. Thank you guys. I'm glad you like it. Yes, Marsha, the font on this is very pretty. I agree. The Hello Friend looks so nice. I love that. And I love the Hello Friend because sometimes we just need to send cards to our friends and let them know that we're thinking about them. All right, so that is my second card for tonight. Let's see what I have next on deck. So my next card to share with all of you, ooh, is this one. Look how pretty it is. Again, just using some of that designer series paper in a unique and different way for you to be able to see. I just, you know, did a 1.5 inch strip and a 2 inch strip, added a circle, voila, you have a really pretty card. Okay, so for this, I used Highland Heather for my card base. Thank you, everyone. Yes, purple, purple, purple. I know it, right? And I have to say, when I was making this card and I went with the Fresh Freesia, I was like, I grabbed it by mistake because, I mean, the Highland Heather, I grabbed it by mistake because the color in the designer series paper is actually Fresh Freesia. But I really like the two purples together. So I went with it. I was like, I should go get the right one. And I'm like, no, I'm going with this one. I kind of like it. All right. And then I have a piece of the 5 1/4 by 4. Thank you, Marsha. This is the pool party, and I ran it through the Stamp Emboss die cut machine using the gingham embossing folder. Okay, so if you haven't seen the gingham folder yet, that is the design it gets. This gingham folder is part of the Sweet Conversations bundle, which is the Valentine's Day bundle in our Stampin' Up! January through June catalog. And I just liked it, and so I wanted to use something new on this one. I always like to use the new product, you know? I can't go back to the old after I start playing with the new. And then I just added a strip here. This is 1.5 by 5 1/4, and it goes the whole width of my first layer here. So any of you that might be new to joining me here, make sure that you like my page, and then also search for the same thing as Kim Vogel's Basement Bunch Stampers. I have a group, and I post in my group very regularly. They both get posts to them, but my group is where I post a lot of my classes, a lot of the different things for inspiration. So make sure that you join my group and that you also like my page. And then if you're on any other social media platforms, I'm out there on YouTube. I have a blog, all that awesome stuff. So I'd love to have you find me and follow me along as I create fun things with you. Some of you who might be new don't know or may not know that I also work a full-time job. Stampin' Up! Is my fun job. So sometimes if you email me, you might not hear back from me till the night, that evening, or the next morning, but I do the best I can. But I do like to at least mention that so most people know that that this is my fun job. So then I have a circle from the Layering Circles, and I just stamped off on the bottom, near the bottom on the right hand side, "You have my love and support." Now this card would be great as a inspirational card if you wanted to give to somebody who maybe is struggling with a disease or cancer or something like that, or just somebody who is just having a rough go. This would be a really great card to send them. Hi Annette, I miss you too. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensionals on the back of that, and going to then adhere this down. These dimensionals are giving me all kinds of grief. So what they're doing, if you guys are wondering, is they're sticking. I have to get really careful underneath of them because it's pulling up the other paper width. So if you hear me complaining about dimensionals, thought I'd share why so that you guys would know. And I haven't had that happen with my dimensionals before, so I don't know. And it's just this end of this one little pack. Okay, so I'm going to put 3 dimensionals on there, and I'm going to adhere this down to my card. like this. And it's kind of in the center, but a little bit off to the side. And then all I did was stamp the bird. Again, look how simple this card is. So easy for you to duplicate. And the other thing I like to tell you too is when you're looking at cards and you see a template and things like that, you can use the same template with other designer series papers, stamp sets, all of that kind of thing. You don't necessarily have to kind of just use it for the same suite that I'm using it for. So you can take these cards and apply it to many other different stamp sets and bundles that you might have already. So hopefully you kind of think about that as you're watching and seeing me design with different layers and things like that. So again, I'm just doing the bird in the pool party, kind of gonna outline it, nothing fancy, because I'm not a fancy colorer. And then using fresh freesia. So for this one, oh, Natalie, you got fancy smancy on me. So for this one, Natalie colored it, and she just kind of went around the outer edges. So Natalie's my daughter, if any of you are wondering. She does a lot of my coloring because I don't usually like to color. So when I design things, sometimes I'll say, hey, come down here for a little bit and color my cards for me. But this one, she kind of just did little outlines like that. So she didn't actually color the entire flower. Look at her getting all creative. And then I had to duplicate that. Ooh, pressure's on. Okay. Close enough. She's got a little bit more color in hers, but I'm going to go with it. And then just color the green here again, Granny Apple Green. And I'm just kind of sticking with the colors that are in the paper so that it all, that's the whole thing with our Stampin' Up! Products, right? Is that it all kind of color coordinates and comes together and just looks wonderful. And then, yes, I did fussy cut this as well. So I'm just going to quickly, again, a little tip and trick when you're fussy cutting. I like to just move. I don't really move my scissors a whole lot. I move the paper around. So you can see here that I'm just kind of moving the paper, and I want to make sure I don't cut the bird's beak off. Get that out of there. And get that out of there. I like to cut off the excess so I can see better. But I just kind of move the paper around and I leave my scissors kind of like in one place. So I'm not really moving the scissors, I'm moving the paper where I want the paper. So I hope that helps. I know some people are like, I hate fussy cutting, but this has really helped me be able to do it a little bit faster than what I was doing it. So it's kind of a combination of both. And the more you do it, the better you get at it, to be honest. I mean, I wasn't always the best fussy cutter either. I'm just gonna finish this one up. All right, and then that went on with dimensionals. Promise I won't yell at them this time. I'll be nice to the dimensionals. I'm actually using the other sheet that I have sitting here that just has the ends and bits and pieces. Oh, Beth, you're funny. I'm a fast fussy cutter. Well, I kind of been doing it for a while. So, and I don't mind fussy cutting. So like if I'm designing a card that has to have a lot of stuff cut, I will take it upstairs while we're watching a movie or something like that and I cut. But yeah, I don't mind fussy cutting, especially if I'm busy and can listen to music or something. But and for this one, I also did a bow. So a lot of my cards tonight are just bows with this little bit of sheer ribbon. Again, it's quite sheer, but it just adds a little pop of color down there. So I'm just going to make this a nice little bow here and trim off my little tails again. And then put that on with a glue dot right here on this Fresh Freesia circle. And then again, our lovely pearls. On this card, I only put them in the center. So I'm just gonna kind of, again, slide one off to put it in the center. This just works so well for me. Who else is gonna try that now that they've seen that? Has anybody else been trying that? I know I've been doing it on my Facebook Lives forever. So I'm curious if any of you have tried that little technique, because it's, I don't know. I always try to get in a hurry and don't want to have to go get my tool or get it. I don't know. I just, find little shortcuts that kind of work for me. All right, so that is my other card. Okay, I think I've got, what have I got left? I've got about 5 minutes and I've got 2 projects left. So let's see here. I will showcase this one first. And if I don't get to the last one, I'll make sure I show it to you, okay? So this one just uses some of that awesome designer series paper. I loved the paper, like I mentioned, that had the black. It looks like it's stamped on top of it. And I honestly thought it was, but it's not. But I liked the black, so I thought, how pretty would it be to make strips of that and put it behind some of the black paper? And it just makes that paper pop, doesn't it? Nothing fancy about this card whatsoever. You can see I did a little bit of stamping around the outer edge here of my card, and that is actually a stamp included in the stamp set. So it's this little grungy one right here. Again, part of the Friendly Hello stamp set. And for this card, I used Petal Pink for my card base. Thank you, Philomena. Like I said, I was kind of inspired by the fact that all three of those patterns looked so similar, but were different colors and were just really, really pretty. So you can kind of get creative here with, and I didn't take the time on this one to stamp around the edges. I would if I had my ink here, but I don't. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make this one without that, okay? So I have my 3 little pieces of paper here, and we're gonna adhere those down first to my card. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive top and bottom. So I believe these were 3 inches by 1 1/4. But again, you can make them any size that you want. And when I layer my card or my pieces down like this, when I do strips, I always do the 2 outer edge first, and I kind of eyeball my little 1/4 of an inch outer edge, because that way I can add the last one to the middle and really get it nice and centered. So this way I can kind of add this last one and kind of center the space in between. And it really helps me be able to get that glued together and not have too much space on one side or on the other. Okay, I did use dimensionals to adhere this down. So I'm going to bring in my dimensionals and put, oh, those are cut. No, they're not cut. So I'm just gonna put one on all 4 corners here. Like that. So even the little ends work great. You don't need to have the great big dimensionals. The little ones will work. And that got glued down to the center of my card. And again, you want to make sure the pool party design does have a bird, so I don't want to put it down where the bird's head's going to be upside down. So I'm making sure I don't do that. And then I just stamped on a 1/2 inch piece of the basic white scrap. I stamped the Hope You Have the Best Birthday. And I'm just going to trim off the ends here. And I'm going to adhere that down with some dimensionals as well. So let me bring in my dimensionals. I'm gonna cut a couple more of them up. And put one there. And one here. And then that's gonna go on the bottom here. And again, a bow, so I'm not gonna worry about putting the bow on right now because you guys have seen me make many of bows. Topped it with a pearl and you have a beautiful card. Quick and simple and easy. A little bit of stamping, that's it. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so I'm just gonna show you guys my last card that I made because so far I've been doing a lot of birds and I wanted to incorporate these beautiful flowers. So this is the card that I created with the flowers. So when I was creating these, you remember when we talked about this purple one? And I was like, oh, I used the wrong purple. I kind of liked the look. So I did that again on this one. And I paired the Granny Apple Green with the Evening Evergreen. And I like how it just made that pop. Okay, so for this one I used Granny Apple Green for my card base. I used basic white, the 5 1/4 by 4. Ran that through the same folder, that gingham folder. And then my piece of the Evening Evergreen is 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then the piece of designer paper is 4 by 3. You can see I added some vellum to this one. And I like to add vellum sometimes to just kind of subdue the card a little bit, make it not look quite so vivid. I wanted my focal point to be the flowers, but I wanted the stripes. And it just kind of gives it that little frosted look, so it's you can't quite see the paper quite as dark and vivid through there. Now, I did do all of the stamping and fussy cut the leaves, the flowers. I know, lots of fussy cutting on this one because all of it is here. And I just stamped them on the basic white using the green I did in, the green leaves I did in Granny Apple Green. I did the flowers using the Memento Black, and then I just colored them in and stamped "You Have My Love and Support" with the Fresh Freesia, and cut that out with one of the layering circles. So that is my last card. A couple big pearls in the middle, and voila. All right, so let me bring in all of my projects from tonight's Facebook Live. And I hope you guys liked these. It was so much fun designing them all with you tonight. So you have a couple of options you can put in. I'll have a link in the description of my video that will have an order code or an ordering link. It will already have a host code incorporated. So if you're interested in putting in a $30 order, you will get 3 of the projects that I demonstrated tonight already completed. If you're interested in putting in a $100 order, you will get, because with a $100 order, you can pick this stamp set and you can pick this paper, and then you'll get a kit in the mail for you to be able to design these cards that I shared with you tonight for free, okay? So you'll just have to let me know if that is an option or something that you might want to do. And then the very first project, in case any of you missed it, this is my first project, so make sure you go back and check it out. This is a cute little box. I'm calling it the little cracker box. Using some of that designer series paper. It looks hard. It's so simple to do. And yeah, those are all of my wonderful projects that I created for you tonight. So anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message here on Facebook, or you can email me. I'll have my email listed in the description as well, but it's kim@kimsbasementbunch.com. And I am Kim Vogel with the Basement Bunch Stampers, for any of you that might be new to joining me. And I am a demonstrator here in Michigan and have been doing crafting like this for, well, at least as a demonstrator, for 11 years. But I've been creating and scrapbooking and all that for much, much longer. So, and Facebook Lives, someone asked me how long I've been doing my Facebook Lives. It's been at least 4 or 5 years that I've been very consistent live on a Thursday night with all of you. Sometimes Wednesday, but most of the time it's Thursday. So anyway, thank you all so very much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed tonight's projects. You do have until, like I said, you have until the end of February to be able to get this stamp set and coordinating paper for free. It is part of the celebration offering. I should probably have showed you it in the celebration book. It is a free offering with a $100 purchase. So here you get also some more other designs and ideas that you can use as well using this bundle and product suite. So anyway, thank you all so very much. And I look forward to seeing you all back here next week as I'll be showcasing some more awesome, great projects. So, and I'll be announcing it on Monday. Usually I do my post on Monday with what I'll be doing for the following week. So anyway, thank you all so very much for joining me. Have a great evening. Hope to see you all back here next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye, everyone.